Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the previous class, we were discussing about investment banking. We discussed about different concepts in investment banking and the primary markets and secondary markets, all these things. Today we are going to start the next chapter, that is risk and return. The basic concepts we already studied in financial management. I'm not going in detail of that thing, just there will be a review of those concepts. Return is basically income received on an investment plus any change in the market price. You know about this thing. Income received on an investment plus any change in the market price, usually expressed as a percentage of the beginning market price of the investment. This is the formula for calculating the total return, that is the cash flow. Means the income which is received plus price at the end minus price at the beginning divided by price at the beginning. Then there are two components of return. One is called yield and the other is called capital gain. It can also be a loss. Yield means basic component many investors think of when discussing investment returns is the periodic cash flows on the investment. Suppose you are purchasing a bond, so on bond the interest that the company is paying to you, that is basically yield. Or if you are purchasing a share, a stock, so the dividend in that stock, that is basically the yield, the income in the form of cash that you are receiving, either interest or dividends. The distinguishing feature of these payment is that the issuer makes the payment in cash to the holder of the asset. Basically, the payment of this thing is in cash. Capital gain or loss, the second component is the appreciation or depreciation in the price of asset. Capital gain when there is appreciation, capital loss when there is depreciation, commonly called the capital gain or loss. Total return is equal to yield plus price change, means this is the formula for total return. Here is an example. The stock price for stock A was $10 per share 1 year ago. I'm just going quickly on this thing because you already studied this thing. The stock is currently trading at 9.50 per share and shareholders just received $1 dividend. That is basically this $1, this is basically the yield. What return was earned over the past year. So cash flow plus price at the beginning, price at the end divided by price at the end. So there is a 5% total return. Now, okay, the main thing that we are coming is return relative. Total return can be either positive or negative. Do you know? Total return can be positive, it can be negative. Positive in sense this is positive return of 5%. But sometimes it can be negative when there is a loss. So your return will be negative. So total return can be negative or positive. When accumulating or compounding, negative returns are problems. But keep in mind, in calculations, negative returns are creating problems. So what are we doing? We are making these negative returns positive by using a technique that is called relative return technique. A return relative solves the problem because it is always positive. Relative return will not give you negative results. It will always give you positive result. Relative return is equal to cash flow plus price at the end divided by price at the beginning, which is equal to 1 plus total return. Now, what does it mean, 1 plus total return? Look at this. Just a minute. See, 1 plus total return is equal to relative return. 1 plus, suppose your total return is negative, means suppose you lost 30%, there is a loss of 30%, so loss will be in negative, so this will be 30% loss. So 1 plus into minus, it becomes minus 30%, means 0.30, so it will become 1 minus 0.30, which is equal to 0.70. So see, this 1, it makes this negative return as positive. It becomes 0.70. Our relative return, it is equal to cash flow plus price at the end, EE, divided by price at the beginning. It will always give you a positive result. Suppose the cash flow, it is $2, price at the end, suppose price at the end is $10 and price at the beginning, suppose beginning it is suppose $13. So 10 plus 2, 12 divided by 13. So see, we made a loss because in the beginning our price is how much? 13. In the end price is how much? $10. So mean there is a $3 loss. There is a $3 loss. You got $2 in cash flow. So 3 minus 2 means there is a $1 loss, because because it is a relative return, so this formula is not making your loss negative. 12 divided by 13, so answer is always coming in positive. So for solving the problem of negative return, we are using relative return. These are two formulas. Relative return is equal to 1 plus total return. A relative return is equal to cash flow plus price at the end divided by price at the beginning. So these are two formulas that you can use for making your negative returns positive. So negative returns can be made positive with the help of the concept of relative returns. So relative return, it just solves the problem of negative return, because negative returns in calculation, it will create problem for us. Measuring returns. To measure the level of wealth created by an investment rather than change in wealth, need to cumulate returns over time. Now keep in mind, in the previous example, we calculate that what is our profit? It is 5%. Like price at the beginning, it was 9.5. No, price at the end, it was 9.5. Price at the beginning, PB, it was 10, and cash flow, CF, it was $1. So the formula that we discussed of total return, it is equal to cash flow plus bracket price at the end minus price at the beginning, close the bracket, and price at the beginning. So it gives us a result of 5%, that there will be a 5% change in your wealth. But it is not giving us the actual amount of wealth. Suppose we purchased the asset for $10. But now it is not telling us that how much there will be. It is just telling us that there will be a 5% increase in your wealth. But it is not telling us about the actual wealth, that how much will it become. From $10 it will become 11.5, but it is not giving us that 11.5 result. It is just telling us that there will be 5% increase in your wealth, the total return formula. So to solve this problem, what are we doing? We are using a concept that is called CWI, Cumulative Wealth Index over n periods, is equal to, this is the formula, CWI, Cumulative Wealth Index at the end of period n. WI naught means the beginning index value, TR1 to n, the period TRs in decimal form, when added to 1 they become return relative. You know, this is the formula. Now see, cumulative wealth index is equal to wealth index at the beginning, 1 plus total return 1 for n periods. See now, 1 plus total return 2, 1 plus total return n. Now take an example. So this concept will be much more clear to you people. Suppose we invest $100,000. That is WI naught, wealth index at the beginning. Now suppose first year total return 1, it is suppose 15%, we earned 15%. Second year, suppose we earned 10%, total return is 10%. Third year, suppose there is a loss of 20%. Fourth year, suppose there is a profit of 25%. Now, total return is just telling us that there is a 15% change, 10% change, 20% change and 25% change. But it is not telling us that how much this money will become. Means from 1 lakh, now what is your total amount? So we are using CWI, Cumulative Wealth Index, is equal to WI naught 1 plus total return 1 plus total return 2 1 plus total return 3 and 1 plus total return 4. So this is the formula for cumulative wealth index. Now what was your wealth index at the beginning? It was $100,000. So $100,000, 1 plus total return 1, it is 15%. Total return 2, so 1 plus 10%. Then 1, we consider this, there is a 20% loss. So 1 minus 20%. And the last one is 1 plus 25%. Now 100,000 1 plus 15% means 1.15. 1 plus 10% means 1.10. You know about these calculations. 1 minus 20 means 0.80. And 1 plus 25% means 1.25. Now, what will we do? We'll calculate. So I will find the calculator. There is, just a minute. So this is our calculator. What is our total amount? 100,000 multiplied by 1.15 multiplied by 1.10, 1.10 multiplied by 0.80, 0.80 multiplied by 1.25. So we got how much? 1,26,500. So see, total return was just telling us about the change in wealth. There is 15% change, there is 10% change, there is minus 20% change, there is 25. But it was not telling us about the amount, that what is your wealth index, what is your total amount now. So initially our total amount was $100,000 and now it becomes 126,500. So this is just telling us about the exact wealth that we got. So this is the concept of cumulative wealth index. Inshallah, in the next class then we will discuss about cumulative wealth and total return. Assalamu alaikum.